Welcome back, everyone. We are here with Jesus, who is also known to some as the Christ. Before the break we were talking about the Lord's Prayer.
Yes, we were. It is good to see so many people here tonight. The studio looks full.
Yes, that is pretty normal. We usually sell out of tickets 6 months in advance of the show.
You mean, people pay to come here?
Yes.
And there is a waiting list?
Yes. You seem a bit puzzled, Jesus.
Well, we don't seem to have that issue in our houses of worship.
Perhaps you should try selling tickets.
Yes, maybe that would work. That whole scarcity and fear thing seems to work well with humans.
So before the break, we were talking about the daily bread thing in the Lord's Prayer.
Yes, I remember. But I believe this coming week the narrative lectory is looking at the part about forgiveness.
You mean, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us?
You did some reading during the break, didn't you?
Well, yes, a little bit. I noticed you were gone during the break.
Yes, I went to Virginia to drop a few hints on Kosher Netley that he is not as hot as he thinks he's. Got a few skeletons in the closet, that one. But then, so do most people.
But the break was only 1 minute and 30 seconds. And Virginia is...
Yes, well, it is that time and space thing you have to live with. It may have only seemed like a short time to you, but with the 7 commercials you crammed in there, it seemed like an eternity to those at home. But, yes, we were talking about the section on forgiveness in the Lord's Prayer.
So, if I get this right, all I have to do is ask for forgiveness for that Twinkie I stole from the store in 3rd grade and all will be well?
Well, yes, that Twinkie and all those other things, including the one you haven't told anyone about yet and the thought you just had.
What do you mean?
Forgiveness is not just about those things we are comfortable asking for forgiveness about, but, more importantly, those things we are too ashamed to mention.
You mean?
Yes, that one.
Oh.
But probably more important are those things for which you don't think you need to be forgiven but that still hold you back.
Is that why we are forgiven only as much as we are willing to forgive others?
No, that would not be forgiveness, only fair warning.
Well then, we are forgiven and then we forgive others.
No, if that were the case you would never get around to forgiving others, which is something you would need forgiveness for, which seems like a circular spiraling downward thing. Not helpful at all.
What then?
Well, first, you're forgiven, period. So now get on with your life.
Which means I can do it all over again?
You already do. But that is not the point. Forgiveness is to help you move on to a better place in your life, and at the very least you should be thankful enough to go out and make fresh mistakes.
I seem pretty good at that one too.
Yes, you are good at that, but not at letting go of the old stuff. Which reminds me, you need to forgive her because she's already moved on and could care less, but you seem to be hung up on things and are having trouble moving on. So reach into the cesspool and pull out some of that garbage and get it forgiven. And yes, you are wrong.
Oh, but...
This world needs more forgiveness. Half the world is walking around with an albatross hung around their necks not knowing how to get rid of it, and the other half is walking around unaware there is an albatross hanging around their neck. Both need forgiving. And then there are all those like that coccinelli fellow who are so busy pointing out the albatrosses around someone else's neck while trying to hit the albatross, golden millstone hung around their own necks, so to speak.
So is there anything for which someone can't be forgiven?
Yes. A couple of things.
Oh, and what are they?
Thinking so much of yourself that you think your bad is better than my good and that what you did is bad enough that I can't forgive you, so you leave it sitting there in that cesspool festering and destroying your life.
And?
Thinking so much of yourself that you think your bad isn't that bad and that everyone else does it, so you leave it sitting there in that cesspool festering and destroying your life.
Oh, so they are both about
thinking too highly of yourself, which reminds me, when is the next commercial?
Right now.
Get ready, Isa.
Join the fun on Caribbean cruises in our newly sanitized ships.